Greetings, everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement. Hope everyone's having a great day or going to have a great day. Um, Live chat with on Larry Graves' Canadian Stud Muffin channel the other night with our good friend Norman Maslov, and started talking about wankers. Mazzy every year does this thing as a wanker list for the year, and so I consider Mazzy the expert on wankers. And I had to ask him because I've been really into the Police lately. And when I mentioned Sting solo stuff, a lot of responses are Sting's a wanker. And I don't think Sting's a wanker at all. I think Sting's a great musician and has put out some real good quality stuff. So I asked the expert, Mazzy, is Sting a wanker? Mazzy said absolutely not. So there you go. Stop saying Sting's a wanker. So anyway, Police, all the studio albums, I've got them all on vinyl. I've been absolutely this close to being obsessed. There's only 5 albums, so how obsessed can you get? But I'm really enjoying renewing my love of the Police. I was kind of a fan, but not. I didn't own too many of their albums, but now, like, just really digging them. And if you go on Amazon Prime, I found a documentary. Andy Summers did the most amazing documentary. Even if you're not a Police fan, it's a great music documentary. It's kind of his diary of his whole life in music and through the Police and everything. It's kind of told in a diary type fashion. Just if you love behind the scenes stuff for bands and that, fantastic. Watch it. I couldn't stop watching. My eyes were glued. It was really good. So anyway, getting back to Sting. I was more of a Sting fan with his solo stuff than I was of the Police stuff when he went solo. The first 2 albums I think are amazing, and I love that he was incorporating the jazz into it and had a couple of incredible jazz musicians in Branford Marsalis and Kenny Kirkland playing with him. His first album, Dream of the Blue Turtles, was a favorite of mine and still is, but I hadn't listened to it for many years, and I've started listening to it again. And he had a few hits off of this. If You Love Someone, Set Them Free. A lot of these songs were like all played a lot, I thought. Love is the Seventh Wave, Russians, Children's Crusade, Consider Me Gone, Moon Over Bourbon Street. Fantastic record. And then he followed up with a record called, this was Dream of the Blue Turtles, followed up with a record called Nothing Like the Sun, or Nothing But the Sun, which again is super. I don't have it on vinyl. And when they went on tour, they did a documentary and brought out an album called Bring On the Night, which I think is an incredible live album. Really high energy to start off, and all the musicians get to show off their chops, and there's some great songs, and he incorporates some Police songs in here. Great album, and great album cover. So so what did I have Sting on CD? I had this. That was it. And since I've been getting back into the Police, I've been really getting into the Sting solo stuff. So I was listening to my vinyl of Blue Turtles, listening to the live album that I just showed you, and listening to Nothing Like the Sun. I thought, I gotta get some more Sting. So the other day I found Brand New Day at a used store and picked it up really cheap, like $3-4. And then yesterday I said, I'm going into the thrift shop because I don't think Sting's that popular, and I think I could find some titles. So look at, I spent, what did I get? The first store I went to, I got these 2. I got Sacred Love, which I have not heard. Looking for a date on this. Sorry, I can't read without my glasses. And Mercury Falling, which two Sting albums that I'm going to say are much more recent relative to his first releases, and have not heard them, so I'm interested in exploring those. I picked up some that I had before and really enjoyed. First of all, I picked up another copy of Dream of the Blue Turtles because I didn't have it on CD, so I'm glad to have that. These two were favorites of mine back in the day: Sting 12 Sumner's Tales and The Soul Cages. I listened to both these yesterday. They are great records. These ones are really, really good. So, picked up this one, 57th and 9th. This is fairly recent, I think in the 2000s, maybe 2020. Why am I going to say 2020? I started to listen to this yesterday and then had to leave it. So, but the first couple of tracks, I was really enjoying this album. And then Brand New Day, which I have listened to, and I really like this one. And yeah, so then I got to thinking, Sting, would you consider his solo career equal to his career in the Police musically? I say yes. And then I started to think of a couple other bands. How about Robert Plant? Now, I don't have all of Robert Plant's solo stuff. My favorite is Carry Fire, which is one of his more recent ones. And then there's Lullaby and the Ceaseless Roar, which is fairly good. I have Band of Joy, and I have Now and Zen, which had Tall Cool One on it, which was a big hit. Robert Plant, to me, there's no way it's even close with Zeppelin and Robert Plant, although I enjoy his solo albums, but he has not matched any Zeppelin album as far as I'm concerned. Peter Gabriel. I am in the minority of someone who did not enjoy the Genesis Peter Gabriel era. I embarrassingly admit that I like this when Phil Collins took over the vocals more. And but when Peter Gabriel went solo and Salisbury Hill and all that, I fell in love with Peter Gabriel. I think he's just amazing, but I like all his solo stuff. So I'm of the opinion that Peter Gabriel's solo career is better than what he did with Genesis. I've got, Scratch. It's still got this thing on it. I'm not putting these in any order. I have New Blood, which was, I'm pretty sure this was a live album. Plays Live, Disc 1 and 2. Music from The Last Temptation of Christ. There's The Drip with the Water with Salisbury Hill. That was the first one. The incredible So album. Man, this was a monster hit album for him. And Secret World Live. And the one with San Jacinto and Shock the Monkey and all that. I don't know how they... this was Security. Again, I'm of the opinion that Peter Gabriel's solo stuff is better than the Genesis stuff. Although I love when Steve Hackett revisits the old Genesis stuff. That's great. And I'm going to see Steve Hackett in October this year at Massey Hall, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, let's get on. What about the Beatles? I didn't bring anything to show, but John, Paul, and George. Did they put any albums out that were at least as good as a Beatles album? I say yes. I say All Things Must Pass. I say Plastic Ono Band and possibly Imagine. So there's 3 albums. And for Paul, I am, Band on the Run's a classic. Ram and Venus and Mars. Like I'm a big Venus and Mars fan. I think those albums are at least as good musically, probably better than Please Please Me with the Beatles, Yellow Submarine for sure, maybe Beatles for Sale, those ones. Now, I think the Beatles albums are more special because that whole Beatle thing, but musically, if you're just speaking musically, putting on a record and reviewing, saying which one is a better record, I think those solo ones that I mentioned are better albums. And like I said, the whole magic of that Beatles catalog is, holy grail stuff. So it's hard to, do that, but that's my opinion. Anyway, your thoughts on solo artists? Who's left the band? And I mean, Jagger, his was brutal solo career. Keith Richards was okay. I like the Keith Richards album. Uh, Joe Strummer from the Clash. Those Mescalera albums are freaking awesome. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. So let me know your thoughts. And thanks. Thumbs up, please. Thumbs up. And please subscribe. I see the subscriber thing starting to go up. So maybe I just got to remind people to push the subscription button. And everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you.